Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So yesterday on Twitter there was some big drama going on and it had thousands and thousands of people talking. So it happened after this clip was posted on Twitter. It is a clip of Jacksepticeye talking about MrBeast and his content, as well as his content creation strategies. And throughout that clip, he claims that MrBeast ruined YouTube. Now let's have a look at that clip before we look at some of the responses and conversations that came out of that clip.
Now Jack, a completely unrelated question. Do you like MrBeast? No. Jack, do you think MrBeast ruined YouTube? Yes. Now in all honesty, Jack, why? Because it became more about views, money and popularity than it did about having fun. You just don't think you had fun playing Squid Games? You don't think you had fun riding on yachts? Building wells in Africa? I don't know.
If he had fun doing those videos, they'd be longer. We'd see the fun.
Ooh.
I thought you were going to get me with that one, didn't you?
So this clip got a lot of attention and perhaps unsurprisingly eventually got attention from MrBeast himself, where he made this now deleted reply stating, "So I ruined YouTube because I didn't buy a mansion and sports cars and instead reinvested my money into making content / focused on doing good and inspiring kids to help people. If he had fun, the videos would be longer. What does that even mean, LOL? You think I'd give up every hour of my life for 14 years if I didn't have fun? This clip is insanely disrespectful in my opinion, and obviously there is so much I could say about his content, but I'll just take the punches and be the bigger man, sigh." So this caused a whole lot of drama, and I'm going to give my honest opinion about this before we look into the quotes and replies to this, and feel free to disagree, but I feel like this whole thing was incredibly unnecessary. This whole beef was just not worth the time, and it just birthed a lot of toxicity. And my general takeaway here is that there's a disconnect between the type of content that Jack makes versus what MrBeast makes. And the best comparison I can give here, the best metaphor, is art versus science. We all know that MrBeast would be the science in this. He openly talks about how he exploits every aspect of the algorithm to boost his viewership as much as possible, which plays into his philanthropy strategy where more views equals more revenue equals bigger projects and giving out more to people in his videos. And Jack is more on the art side where it's less polished, which is not an insult, by the way, and it's more open-ended. Instead of being directed at people and trying to maximize reach, he's more like, here's what I like to do, and hopefully other people like that too. And of course, there's nothing wrong with either side in my opinion, but of course they share a lot of things. I mean, obviously even Jack is trying to maximize his views. They do certain strategies and things to maximize how it's going to be affected in the algorithm. But again, it's a clash between these two different styles of making content that caused this whole issue in the first place. But here's some of the initial responses, and I agree with this one right here saying, "Can you not discuss it in DMs like grown men? Why do you have to reply some random Twitter account and put your mob into their notifications?" Now, I agree with they probably should have just settled this in DMs, but I also think that MrBeast was entitled to a public response. But also this point about having a response in a random Twitter account's replies, yeah, that was a mistake in my opinion. MrBeast should not have done that because the person who posted the clip had nothing to do with Jack. It was just a clip of something that Jack had posted elsewhere. And now, I think on YouTube, things are just different. It's like the separation of platforms makes it a lot more obvious that that person was not affiliated with Jack in any sort of a way, and it was definitely not Jack himself posting that clip. But on Twitter, people are very stupid, and they were replying to the account as if they were Jack, and as if they were promoting and making the statements themselves. And obviously with MrBeast dragging a lot of people over to this account, a lot of people are bombarding that random user with a lot of hate, which is obviously not a good thing. But a lot of people are saying this too, saying, "Girl, why are you responding to drama and Karis mentions? If you're so mad about it, message Jack. He's also allowed to have his own opinion." So I agree with the first part again, but this second part I don't agree with. So if Jack's allowed to have his own opinion, an opinion that reflects negatively on MrBeast, then MrBeast would be entitled to a response, his own opinion, because why would Jack have the right to have an opinion but not MrBeast when he's the one who's the focus of that opinion? But like I said, he shouldn't have replied to a random account. If he wanted to, he should have made a separate post or even a subtweet or something like that addressing his concerns about what Jack said about him and his content. Another user said, how insecure do you have to be to get this upset after one person says they don't like you? You're just like another creator I know. So we have to address the elephant in the room here. This isn't just another person on the internet. It's not some random Twitter user with 100 followers. This is Jack. Jack has been around for pretty much ever on YouTube. He's one of the OG YouTubers. He has millions and millions of subs. Obviously, his words are going to sting a little bit more when he's talking about one of his peers. I think that's pretty obvious, and I think at the end of the day, despite everything, MrBeast is human, and it probably did affect him infinitely more than the words of someone who is not so popular, which, yeah, I think that is pretty obvious. But this point down here about you're just like another creator I know, and I'm 99% sure they're talking about Dream. If you want to know what petty looks like, that is Dream, okay? Forget MrBeast replying. Dream is the definition of petty. He responds to not only other content creators who have an issue with him, he will respond to random 100-follower accounts who say something as simple as, Dream is bad, and then he will flood them with thousands of rabid fans to the point where in situations he's gotten children doxxed, okay? Like, that is what a petty response and petty mentality towards criticism looks like. But a lot of people went after MrBeast and his content creation strategies. A lot of people are really harping on this fact that they believe MrBeast doesn't enjoy making content, that this is all formulaic and it's just there to make as much revenue as possible and he's not having fun doing it. So you saw this right here. A lot of people talked about this tweet the other day where he's basically saying he's burning out mentally a lot from doing so much filming and video making. This user posted a screenshot saying, you said this 5 days ago, man. Maybe you have fun killing yourself, but this mindset isn't good for most people, and you're forcing others to compete on your terms. So I know a lot of people, English is not their first language. I want to make it very clear. This person's not saying you have fun game ending yourself. They're saying you're killing yourself with your work mentality because you're pushing yourself so hard. So this mentality, this mindset is not good for most people. I 100% agree. But the thing is, he is not forcing other people to compete on these terms, and that includes Jack. And Jack doesn't want to, or he says that he doesn't want to use that strategy, and he really doesn't, and he succeeds. So anyone can succeed without being a MrBeast clone, for example. But this mentality of the fact that he's working so hard that's taking a toll on his mental does not mean that he's not enjoying his content at all. Now, I'm going to speak on behalf of MrBeast here, you know. I'm going to do something crazy, but I think it's pretty obvious based on how he's approached things in his public statements. It seems like MrBeast doesn't really enjoy the process of filming and making videos. It obviously is pretty stressful. These are huge projects with millions of dollars on the line. It's intense. It's got to be stressful. It can't be that fun, the actual process of making videos. But it seems very clear to me that MrBeast does have fun and enjoys the final product of what he's making. He enjoys entertaining people with really high stakes videos, and he certainly enjoys the philanthropy and those aspects that come with his content. That to me is very clear that he enjoys those aspects. But making the videos themselves, clearly he doesn't enjoy those as much, and it's pretty understandable. And you know, you have people like Jack who are a lot more focused on what they want to do and then sharing that out, and that's cool too. But I don't think MrBeast hates what he does entirely. It's just certain aspects. But other people were bringing up his content and claiming he's a hypocrite for some of his statements about how he spends his money. This user saying, bragging about not buying sports cars less than 12 hours after releasing Lamborghini versus Shredder. Please have just an ounce of shame. Now, I think this is very disingenuous. It's obvious that this is not MrBeast, you know, whipping down the street in his Lamborghini just to flex on people. This is a part of his content creation strategy and his philanthropy to use this shocking, attention-grabbing content to generate more revenue so he can then give it away to other people. But a lot of people were also attacking the philanthropy aspect of all this. This user saying, inspiring kids to help people, you make people in difficult situations perform like circus monkeys for access to basic care. You're a freak, and Jack was right to insult you. Again, just like with all of MrBeast's videos and the backlash he's received, it's funny how people are angry at him for helping out people in tough situations, but they're not focusing on the fact that this basic care is not being provided to them. Like, MrBeast didn't create that situation, he's only helping to alleviate it. But once again, users love speaking on behalf of people who are featured in MrBeast videos, particularly people with disabilities. We saw with like the eye surgery and the hearing surgery and all of those things, the people who went into those videos, they have openly come out and said, please don't speak on behalf of me, Twitter. I was there voluntarily, and I am greatly thankful for the opportunity to have this surgery or procedure done to benefit my life. And people on here say, oh, they're just circus monkeys. I don't think these people, these disabled people, would appreciate you calling them circus monkeys. Like, it seems like a bit of a hypocritical statement here, but more people go on to say, anyways, philanthropy is not charity and will never be a good thing, especially when you're filming it and making effing content about it. Philanthropy will never be a good thing. I think there's millions of people out in the world who would disagree, and thousands of people have been featured in MrBeast videos who would disagree with that. The fact that there's a filming aspect and a content creation aspect behind his philanthropy doesn't change the fact that it benefits people. I think the intent of people when it comes to philanthropy is quite frankly not that important, because at the end of the day, people are benefiting from these actions that help out people in need and give away to others. This person says, I mean, this response kind of shows why MrBeast is annoying, because he has an attitude that he is the greatest and all this shit. And when somebody says they don't like his stuff, he gets so pissed. It's all the same with his quote-unquote philanthropy. So again, this isn't just some random person saying, I don't like MrBeast content. This is Jack, a very influential YouTuber and content creator, saying MrBeast ruined YouTube. And this idea that what he does is not philanthropy, I will pause here for a second. You can take as much time as you want and read the definition of philanthropy. Please tell me how his content creation and his efforts do not apply to this definition. It's ridiculous. Here's another person saying, my brother in Christ, you ruined YouTube with fun capitalism. You will never be a bigger person. I saw a lot of people getting angry about capitalism in the replies, and of course, you go into people's accounts and you see that lovely symbol right here, and it all adds up. But here's another complaint people are saying, your videos have helped to turn the once noble idea of philanthropy into a competition full of copycats who only care about views and likes. And I agree with this to an extent. The MrBeast clones are absolutely terrible. And I'm not talking about people taking inspiration from his videos and his strategies. I'm talking about the clones, the people who just straight up yoink his content and his concepts. They take scripts from him and just verbatim read them again in their own voice and apply the same sort of strategies or events that he uses in his videos. And they tailor it in a way that's a lot less focused on giving away and a lot more focused on their own personal benefit, at least financially. But that's not MrBeast's fault. The fact that he was so successful and inspired people to want to basically steal from him and copy his ideas is not his fault. And he has openly called out these people in the past, and we shouldn't be blaming MrBeast for the actions of people trying to mimic his success and doing it in a much more greedy and selfish way. And I saw this comment, I want to pull this up. So it says, if you look out in the distance, you can see all the commentary YouTubers rubbing their hands together with a gleam in their eyes. Which, yeah, guilty as charged. But I think people are very, they don't want to talk about the aspect of trying to make content to appeal to people. I mean, yes, on my channel, for example, I talk about things that I personally enjoy, but I also pay attention to things that I know my audience will enjoy. Hence why I'm making today's video. I know a lot of people care about things that happen with MrBeast. It's interesting. It's interesting to me, and I know it's interesting to a lot of you guys. And for some reason, people think attacking or covering popular topics is the sign of a grifter. Well, I'll give you an idea. If I want to be a grifter, I'm doing it very terribly, because I would not be talking about the usual content that I discuss on this channel. That is not what a grifter would do. I know what a grifter would talk about, and those things would exhaust me because they're not my opinions. That's why I talk about things that I like, and I share opinions that I actually believe in, because I can do that on a daily basis without burning out. But yeah, we're just being honest here. There's an ecosystem of things, and everyone is a part of it, and they have an eye to what their audience wants and what will get views. And that includes people from MrBeast to Jack and all the way down the line at YouTube. And I want to point out one more funny quote here. So this person said, "Let's see how Critical spins this around to make Jack look like he's in the wrong." One of the people who gets more flack than pretty much anyone is Moist Critical Charlie. Being someone who's largely a centrist on a lot of issues gets you attacked from many different directions. Recently, he won Commentary Channel of the Year on the Streamy Awards of 2023, and people went absolutely rabid on social media, acting like this dude is literally barging into their homes and forcing them to listen to his commentary, when you could avoid him 100% if you wanted to, but they don't, because it's a lot more fun to complain about some dude who's just giving his opinion on things that you don't have to actually listen to. But there was a positive ending to this. So like I said, MrBeast would delete his initial reply, and then he would follow up with this one only a few hours before recording this video. He said, "We messaged, we're Gucci now," and Jack replied with a thumbs up, seeming like the end of this beef. But it was a very flash pan sort of drama here. A lot happened in a very short period of time, and that's pretty expected when you have big names like this beefing on Twitter and on social media generally. But at least there was a civil end to this, and probably a message to understand that maybe these things should be handled privately in the first place. But that's going to do it for this video. I know there was a lot to go over today, so please feel free to share all of your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.